Let's take a look at what's going on for the week astrologically of the 26th of January. There's quite a few drastic changes that are happening globally and will affect you personally. And I think it's very important for you to be able to tune in to the energy, this ancient energy of Sidereal astrology. Hi, I'm Holly from Askhollyhall.com, and I'm a master astrologer with a background education in philosophy and psychology, neurolinguistic programming, past life regression, hypnosis therapy, remote viewing, and clairvoyancy. I work with my clients on a regular basis using these tools to help them navigate really important decisions on a soul level and on a human level. So body, mind, and soul. The first thing that I want to stand out is that Mercury is just moving into Capricorn. Remember, if you're a Western astrologer or you are a novice in Western, this won't make any sense to you, but this is what NASA follows. This is what astronomy follows. And I'm very intrigued by astronomy and ancient astronomy as well. So with Capricorn moving into Mercury, this is very important because suddenly we are going to let go of what our belief system is and what our truth is, and spreading the truth and sharing the truth and sarcastically making sure that everybody understands the truth. And when I use sarcasm, you'll notice that in social media when you're making comments or having conversations with people that they are sarcastically dumbing you down. Are you stupid? Don't you know what you're talking about? Why don't you educate yourself? Do your research. That's all Sagittarius energy. And it's based on their personal belief system. And it's based on their fear of the future. The reason I say fear of the future, because just before that, we entered this year in Mercury in Scorpio. And there was a lot of fear around what was going to be happening in the upcoming election in the United States. And I, as a Canadian, we have seen some drastic changes in the last couple of weeks around this as well. So with Capricorn, we're going to start being very concerned about people that are in power. Capricorn is about power, control. You're not the boss of me. I'm the one that's in control, and really getting down to business. I don't want to hear about your hopes for the future. I don't want to hear about what you have to talk about. I want to see you in action. So when it comes to Trump, for instance, because there's a lot of Capricornian energy going on with him in his chart, you're going to see him being very controlling, almost to the point of being boisterous and a bully, tough. You're not the boss of me. Putting down this mandate with the rest of the world that come at me. I am bigger than you are. You're not going to take me down. I am protective. I am protecting my people. He's going to use that word a lot, actually. Protection, protecting. This is about protection, protecting our land, protecting our people, protecting our sovereignty, protecting our resources. You're going to hear that word quite a bit. Now, many of you are going to take this in stride. You're going to feel like, yay, we got our father figure and he's protecting us. And now we can relax. We can take a breath. We don't have to be looking over our shoulders all the time. Others will see this as control, as if there is some sort of, well, we're going to historically look at people that were in control in the past. And yes, we've heard this word before, dictatorship. Nobody wants to have a dictatorship. No one wants to have a communist Marxism type of society. And therefore, those of you that are afraid of having your control taken away from you are going to be quite frightened and going to retaliate against this. There is Venus in Aquarius, which is going to be moving into Pisces by the 30th, by Thursday of this week. And therefore, we're going to go from humanitarian, it's all about the people, don't you care about the collective, to honestly being afraid and frightened of pending fears that we can't see, that actually don't exist. And this is what Neptune, but this spirituality and this religion is going to come out strong. So I also feel that there will be a push on the U.S. government around religion and God, and making this solid in the educational system, which I see he will put out next. Actually, he's on the 19th of January, he's already implemented this. I don't think everybody realizes it, but he's already implemented to put this in action. And we're going to be waiting till it goes direct again because Mars is in retrograde. So what he's implementing right now, and some of you that are working on the inside will know that I'm correct, it will come out to the public at the 24th or around the 24th of February, how this is going to start being integrated into the education system. He will also be revamping the education system around gender biased, educating around food and farming, finances, becoming, understanding investments, business. He will bring in the AI as an actual course so that people understand the future of AI, the benefits and the drawbacks. This is all he wants to completely overhaul the educational system around his bias of what the future has in store and how children can have autonomy. I'm not for this or against it. This is astrologically what I'm picking up and what I'm seeing. What's going to happen in Canada is that we are going to hear of next week that there will be an early election. And I've always told you guys it would be May. In the fall, the late early winter, when Trudeau resigned, there was an understanding that, that he resigned. And right away on my TikTok and my YouTube, please go to my YouTube and subscribe. That's where you're going to find me the most. You're going to get the best notifications and you will get emails if you go to my Substack, and they're all Ask Holly Hall, Hall. In the early winter, I had said that Trudeau is not resigning anytime soon, but it won't happen till May. And now we're seeing some twists and some curves, and everybody's concerned about Carney, etc. I believe that there's a very good chance, 90% chance, that Trudeau's going to throw himself back into the mix, that Freeland is only there as a deterrent to kind of put a little bit of a cog in the wheel of making sure that Carney gets to be leader of the Liberal Party, which I do see he will get, and then he will go for Prime Minister. I still believe there's going to be one more twist where somebody who is more of a celebrity is going to want to fight to be Prime Minister. This one is orchestrated with in alignment, secret assignment from not just the United States, but an alliance with the United States and other countries. What's really happening is that this is the Great Divide that I have always predicted. And the Great Divide is going to be half the world will live this way and the other half of the world will live that way. It's not literally Earth kind of being divided in half. They will be mixed within the countries. And so half the world will want to be, which I believe Trump is trying to be a part of. We want to be a strong power against another strong power. He's not going to say this straight out to you guys because it would scare the frickin' bejesus out of you. If you really want to know what's going on, there are some people that I would recommend, some podcasters. Joe Rogan is one of the podcasts where he puts out a lot of spiritual stuff too, which I'm quite happy that he's doing that recently. And also Sean Ryan. Take a look at some of the guests that he's had. And if you want to go down that rabbit hole, go right ahead. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. What matters is your own sovereignty and lack of divide. The more that we disagree with why people are doing what they're doing and how they should be doing it differently, the more that we fall in to the pawns that want to control us because they can see we're scared and we're frightened and we're looking for a savior. As long as you don't need, you are able to survive. And this is how it's going to work as well. One of the divides is that you will have the sovereignty by your government to farm how you want to farm, school how you want to school, build how you want to build, live how you want to live without them needing you, forcing you to feed them financially. This is where we're going to end up. So astrologically, looking at this week, when the power sort of comes out and says, hey, we're going to be the boss of you, we're taking control over this. In Canada, we will also get, by the 31st of January, the announcement that there's going to be an early election. Again, I see that this is going to happen in May. Who is the sort of popular celebrity that's going to come in the mix? I don't know. I said this last year with the United States, and the person that came into the mix was Kamala. Right? I thought it was going to be RFK before RFK was added to Trump's team. And I believe that was somewhat of a prediction that came true as well. We're going to have the moon energy that starts off on Sunday as being, it's going to be a somber weekend. It's going to be a bit reflective, some regret, some resentment, some fear. If you guys are going down rabbit holes, I can absolutely see that will happen, specifically with Gemini. You're going to overshare and overtalk to other people, hoping that they're going to help calm the monkey mind of all this rabbit hole. I would stay off social media. Don't comment. Like, really try to find some sense of psychological, spiritual control. Yes, I want to comment. Yes, I want to say my piece. But why? What's the underlying issue? That's what Scorpio's energy is. What is the reason? Psychologically, on a deep level, the deepest fear that you're trying to control, abet, or, soothe by making these comments. So without taking action, sit with the feelings of your lack of action around this. It's just distraction. These actions are only distractions. And again, you're falling right into that. In Monday on the 27th with Sagittarius, we're going to feel that we're very restless and it's going to be hard to hold our tongue. We're going to find ourselves quite sarcastic. There's going to need to, I need to get out of Dodge. I need to travel, or I need to educate myself. There's a higher power. There's a bigger picture. I want to see the forest through the trees. On a low level, you might find yourself controlling through sarcasm. And I'd be very careful around that, because it isn't, you think you're being a humanitarian, but it really isn't, because they're stirring the pot to create anguish and anxiety in others, because you have anguish and anxiety in you. When we've got the Wednesday and the Thursday and part of Friday in Capricorn, that's where I see all this news coming out. News coming out around the educational system, news in the United States, news coming out around when we're going to have an early election, and people starting to rally against that. Now, the rallying, I don't really see happening until the mid part of February, but groups are going to become formed at that time. And that's when people are going to feel like victims, specifically in Canada. And in the United States, much more abrupt, much more in your face. So that victim is going to come specifically around minority groups. So if you're part of a minority group, there's going to be a sense of, what about us? Who's going to protect us? We have to take care of us. And really trying to pull on the heartstrings of others. And it'll work. Ultimately, we're very caring people. We do genuinely care. But we're having a hard time seeing that lately, aren't we? On Saturday, when we've got moon, the Friday and Saturday, 31st and the 1st of February, we get the moon in Aquarius, we'll find ourselves in a really good headspace, to be honest with you. It aligns with almost everything except for the controlling part. You'll find that humanitarian side is going to come out in people. Some people will be edgy and short and irritable. But in general, it's a very social. It's a very social time. This is when I see some protests are going to be coming, but they're peaceful protests. And I do see a reaching out from a European country to the United States, and the agreement with Canada still trying to be forced down the pipeline. And it's going to happen. There's going to be an alliance, an agreement between Saskatchewan and Alberta. I predicted that 2 years ago, with the United States around resources, so that together they can be a powerhouse of resource against the rest of the world. A European country, I believe the UK with Canada, once they see this powerhouse happening with the United States, is going to be in the works. I don't think we're going to be aware of it yet, but there is a particular country in the two countries actually in the United States that will reach out to Trump. Trump will make it very clear immediately what that is. One will be Russia, and the other one will be, I'm really getting mixed up in whether it's France or Switzerland. Okay, I hope you enjoyed these predictions. Let's see what unfolds. Take note, save this, see what happens. Namaste. AskHollyHall.com. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Thank you.